Welcome to episode 3 of Real Estate with the Carters. If today's your first time watching, my name is Annalyn Carter, and to my left is,
Christopher Carter.
and together we are the
Carters.
Carters. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Before we get started with the episode, we would love to say thank you for all the
Yes.
love and support that we've been receiving. We're forever grateful, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, we've got a lot of feedback. You've got left comments. We've gotten subscribers. We're
Right.
encouraging you though to share a video with your friends and colleagues so we can get more subscribers, right?
Right.
Because the more subscribers we get,
Is the better it is for the video to go out because the algorithm, take into consideration the subscribers, the likes, the shares, so all of that counts.
all right, great. So today's show is going to be about selling your home,
Okay.
right?
Perfect. I think last week we dealt with buying.
Yes,
right?
we did.
So today's we're gonna concentrate on the
On the
sellers.
sellers. Yes,
Okay.
we are.
Perfect. Without further ado, let's jump right in.
Okay. So I'm going to discuss about 6 steps that I think is important for a seller, right? The first step is to make sure everyone that's involved in the selling of the home that they are all on the same page.
Okay. And when you say everyone, you mean all those who have an financial or
An interest in
emotional
selling the
interest?
house.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Right.
like the husband, the wife, the kids.
Yes, because this is a big step that you guys are going to be making. You've been living in this house for over 20 years. You know, we're moving, we're relocating, right? So everyone needs to be on the same page
Right.
so that the house is going to go up for sale.
Right.
It's
And just even to add to that too, because we have had situation where the husband is ready, the wife is not too ready. They call us in. We did
went for a listing appointment.
it's an appointment,
Yeah,
and then in the middle, the wife said, "No, I'm not ready."
right.
And then we have to be back and forth, and then eventually the house was not put on the market. They call us back again. It's the same because there is like a tug of war between both parties. So we want all the parties involved to ensure that they're on the same page. It's a decision that yes, we all agreed to be making, and we're going to move forward together.
Yeah, so especially if you have an interest in selling the home, everyone needs to be on the same page that this
Right.
house is going to go up for sale.
Perfect.
Right? And once everyone is on the same page, I recommend that you hire a real estate agent,
Okay.
right? Find an agent that will ensure your goal, right? Find someone that's going to listen to you because you're going to be working with this person throughout this transaction. So you want to make sure that you're comfortable and that you
Right.
trust this person,
Correct.
right? In selling your home.
Okay.
Right.
Just to add to that too is you want to make sure the realtor that you're choosing is one very knowledgeable of the neighborhood, the homes that have been sold in that neighborhood. I'm just very familiar with the schools, the school zone, all the amenities, all the facilities that is within that area, so that the property can be advertised.
Right, because they're going to relay all that to the buyer. So they need
Correct.
to be knowledgeable, like Chris
Right.
said, of the school zone. If your house is in a community, all the amenities that they have, because these are going to be great selling
selling
points for the house.
right?
Yes.
The other thing want you to also consider is someone who is experienced in selling homes in that neighborhood. So
Correct.
not only do they have knowledge of the neighborhood, they also have experience selling homes in that neighborhood. And then the third, and which is most important, somebody that is on the same page with you, somebody who's going to look out for your interests, and somebody who's going to make sure that at the end of the day, whatever goals or objective that you set out, then that objective was achieved.
Right.
Right?
Right. Right. And so once you have this agent, right, the agent is going to tell you what their strategy is of putting your house on the market, right? Because that does come with a strategy. They
I have a quick question though. So you mentioned that I need to get an agent, but do I just select the first agent? Do I interview multiple agents? How does that work?
That's a good point. You can multiple up to 3 interview about 3 agents, right, to see who you're best comfortable with and who I would say like you vibe with, right?
Right,
Because like I
right.
said, you need to find somebody who has your best interest at heart.
Okay, okay. So you wanna not just somebody that you're close to or somebody who was recommended. You wanna, do some research, get the couple of names, 3, 4. We recommend about 3 of them. interview them, see what their goals, what their marketing plan is for your home, how they're gonna get people in, and ultimately how they're gonna get you the best price. Correct?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So we did step one, getting all the parties that have a financial interest in selling the home on the same page. Now we hire an agent. So the third step is understanding that there's costs that are related to selling this house, right?
Oh wow. What are some of
Yes.
those costs?
So some of those costs could be from there's closing commission, the first important one, the commission,
Okay, I'm sure
right?
most sellers don't like that word, right?
Right. So there's commission, there's
Right.
cost for potential repairs, right?
Okay.
There's fees and taxes that are associated with the closing,
Okay.
right? So
Okay.
those are some of the costs that you that will be related to the closing. So a commission, there's fees, there's taxes, and closing costs, and maybe again repairs that you may need to do to the property,
Right.
right?
So just to jump back a little, so once you choose the agent and the agent comes in, they're gonna possibly walk around, look at the house and say, if we want to get the best price for this house, then there's possibly some stuff that we need to do to get this house
Right.
up to
This is
speed.
where you're gonna prepare your home for sale.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll get
okay.
that in the
You'll get
next
in-
section.
Okay.
Next
okay.
step, we're gonna go a little bit into that.
Okay. Okay.
Right. Um, like Chris said, now like you have your agent and you understand what cost is gonna be associated with this. Typically, too, what we do as a listing agent, I come up with what's called a seller's net sheet. Right.
Okay.
That's where we outline again all the different costs that may be associated with the transaction.
Just take a pin. Commission, because I'm here thinking about possibly putting my house on the market, and I'm thinking about the commission. Is that commission negotiable?
Commission are definitely negotiable. Yes.
Okay.
Typically, a commission anywhere, well, in the state of Florida, is 6%, but you can negotiate that with the agent.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So I don't have to take someone that comes and tell me 6%. I could say to them, I think 4% is a good fee.
You can.
Okay.
I'm smiling when you can. Yeah, definitely you can.
Okay.
In this market, I've seen that a lot.
Oh, you've seen 4%
I've
a
seen
lot.
4% a lot. I've seen that
Okay.
advertised.
Um,
Yes.
and talk to me about a little bit about selling the home myself as opposed to going with
You mean
paying the
trying to go what is
commission.
called a FISBO?
FISBO, yeah.
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 Well, I believe that if you hire a real estate agent, that person's a professional. They're an expert at selling your home, right?
Right.
It's proven that when you hire an agent,
Right.
they typically get about 20% more,
Okay.
right?
Right.
20% more than if you sold the property yourself.
Okay.
Okay.
So despite me paying that commission, then I'm paying it for a reason.
Right. And like I said, the agent is an expert. They're going to be able to negotiate, hopefully, a better cost for you. They're going to be able to negotiate better. They're going to be able to go over the contract because you're not an expert at reading
Okay.
contracts.
Right,
So the agent, this is your job,
Right, right.
They're the experts. So they know how to go ahead and read the contract. And again, they're going to be looking out for your best interests.
Okay. So there's
Right.
there's really benefits of using an agent.
I believe, yes.
Okay.
I mean, as an agent, yes.
All right.
Right?
So you were going to go into your third step.
Yeah, so preparing your home for sale, right? You're putting your house on the market, so you want to start to think like a buyer,
Okay.
right? So it's important that you come in with a buyer's eyes. So one of the first things that I would recommend that you do is to clean the home from top to bottom.
right,
That's
right.
from the baseboards to the ceiling.
Okay.
Do a thorough cleaning. Maybe hire a professional cleaning company to come in and clean the house.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So cleaning your house is very important.
Right.
Another thing that we want to do is to declutter, right?
Okay.
Declutter your home. In terms of like most people, there's a lot of things that you've gathered over the years. You may be living here for 20 years.
Right,
So you
right.
want to start decluttering your home. Get probably a storage. There's storage that you can have from
Right.
hire a storage bin, a month-to-month storage,
Yeah,
right?
okay,
They
okay.
have
That's a good
those.
idea.
Another thing
Right.
that you can do in decluttering is you can do make donations. There are charities that you can donate some of your items to,
Oh, okay.
right? So that's also one thing that you can do. Make Now also is a time for you to make whatever repairs that you have. You've had this to-do list for years that I want to repair these. Now is a
Yeah.
time to do that, right?
That ceiling fan that is broken
The
because
ceiling fan that's broken, the handle that's fallen off the door, the leaky
Right.
faucet that you have in the
Correct.
kitchen or the bathroom. Now is a time to do that because again, you want to prepare the home for a buyer because someone wants to come in and buy this house. So they want to make sure that the property that they're purchasing, that you as the home seller have taken care of this house,
Right.
which
And
is very important.
Right, and as you said initially, that the seller needs to be thinking like the buyer. If I was walking into this house, and if I was in the market to buy, and I'm walking in this house, does this house have the appeal,
Right.
The same way that it would appeal to another person,
Right.
Right. So you
Right.
have to basically put your shoes your foot in the shoes of the buyer
Right.
to make sure that what you're presenting, because you want top dollars, and if they can come in and they start having issues with everything, obviously they're not going to want to pay top dollar. But if everything is pristine, everything is looking, good and nice, then
Right.
that's possible going to ensure that you get as close to your asking price as possible.
Right.
Right.
Another thing that we want to do is to depersonalize the space, right?
Okay.
And when I say that, is to take away family photos, family heirlooms, right? Take all those things away because again, you want the buyer to come in and to imagine themselves living in the space. So just neutral, right?
Right.
Neutral as possible,
Okay.
right?
So you're saying like all the pictures, like me and my wife and all those pictures that
Those needs to come off come down. Take away all family photos that you have. It's
Right.
better again to just have a neutral space because you want the buyer to come in and imagine themselves living in the space.
Okay.
Right.
Perfect.
The last thing in terms of preparing your home for sale is to stage it. Right
Okay.
now is the time to rearrange all the furniture. Make the space look brighter. If you have lights, the light bulbs, we can change the light bulbs to make the space look a lot brighter, right? Curb appeal. Curb appeal is very important, but curb appeal sets the stage for what's inside of the house.
Okay, definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
So what you want to do is to make sure you have a fresh manicure lawn, plant some flowers outside, get rid of whatever debris or,
Okay.
that you have, right? So curb appeal is super, super important again because the curb appeal of your home sets the stage for what's inside. So when somebody walks up or when someone drives up to your home,
Right.
they want to make sure like,
Yeah,
wow,
it sets a tone.
sets a tone.
And just to
Yes.
add to that too is that if you have 4 or 5 cars parking in the garage, you may want to kind of move those cars so that the when persons come to view, there's space for them to park.
Okay.
I've gone to open house, and there's nowhere to park, and I just end up leaving because just parking on the road sometimes I may not be open to that, but if there's space available for us to park, then that is going to help with that process, right?
And create some like some feng shui in the house, like to make good energy flow through.
Right.
Right?
And just a final point to that too, if there are like a family living there, you possibly want to leave, ensure that the home is the person that is coming to view the home can walk through
Because this
freely.
all sets the stage for Chris, like Chris
Right.
said, for showings, right?
Right.
When you have everything, clean, pristine, so that way, again, when your agent is gonna do a showing, right?
Right.
The home is it's in
Pristine.
pristine condition,
Yeah.
right? It's in pristine condition.
All right, we're
Right.
gonna go for a short break. Come back with us as we complete the home selling process. We'll be joining you back shortly.
Life is full of challenging decisions. Finding the right mortgage company should not be one of them. We at Loans Hub Mortgage and Finance are leaders in residential mortgages, refinancing, and investment property financing. We have a loan solution for your every need. Call us today at 954-947-8662, or you can find us online at www.loanshub.lending.com. Your next approval is just a phone call away. LoanSub is an equal housing lender, NMLS 2220747. Welcome back to episode 3 of Real Estate with the Carters. I'm Annalyn Carter.
And I'm Christopher Carter.
So before we went for a break, we were discussing preparing your home for sale, right? In terms of what the seller needs to do. So we discussed cleaning the home, decluttering, depersonalizing, doing repairs, and setting and staging the home, right? These are all important things as the seller. These are steps that you need to take to make sure the home is in pristine condition, because like we said before, the buyer, so you want to look through the eyes of the buyer, right? First impression is important to the buyer, right?
Yeah,
so you want to set the stage and make sure that when the buyer comes to the property, see that you as a seller, you took very good care of the home.
Right. And all of that is going to help with you getting the best price for this home, because if everything is in the right place, if when they come in, it's clean and nice, they can easily flow through, then, that's going to have a lasting impression on the buyer. Correct?
Yes, I agree.
Right. So just to reiterate a couple of stuff that we spoke about before we went to the break, is you want to make sure that the curb appeal, somebody driving up to the home, they're envisioning themselves living there, right? So the lawn is
well manicured. There's flowers planted outside.
Right. If you have like multiple cars, like 4 or 5 cars, you want to take out some of them, from out the driveway, possibly park somewhere else so that they can easily drive in, just like they would if this is their home.
Right.
Drive in and park and just kind of start having that mental picture of them living in this home.
Right.
You also want to possibly talk to your next door neighbors and
let them know.
I'm going to have an open house next week. Can visitors park in front of the home? All of that is going to create an impression for the buyer.
Right.
And so when they come in, they start owning the space. They start feeling like
this is their home.
This is their home.
They're visualizing themselves living here.
Right. From immaculate driving him, I feel like I'm driving home. Right. All right. So now that we've prepared us home for sale, where do we go from there?
The next step will be the negotiating an offer. Right.
Okay.
So you prepare your home. Now it's on the market for sale, and you have now is the time to start getting the offers. And for you as a seller, once you get the offer, there are 3 things that you can do upon receiving an offer. One, you can accept the offer as is, right? Or you can negotiate it via counter offer with your agent, or you can just reject the offer. Like, you get an offer you don't like, reject, and just move on.
So you're saying that if an offer come in and I don't like it, there's no pressure for me to accept that
Absolutely
offer?
Not. Absolutely
I
not.
can just tell my agent, no, I don't like any of those?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Okay.
Right? Or if you get an offer, say you listed the house, say for $600, but you got an offer for $510 or $580, say $580, you can renegotiate that price.
Okay.
Right?
So that's what the counter offer is?
That's what a counter offer is, yeah. And if there are other terms in the offer that, didn't fully meet your criteria, say a closing date, you wanted a longer closing date, or you want to stay in the property after, you can go ahead and counter a extended closing date or counter a post-occupancy.
Okay. So you're saying the offer that we receive, we don't have to accept them as they are. We can
do a counter, right? Counter. So you can, if you get an offer with all the terms that you're asking, so you accept the offer as is. If it doesn't come in with the terms that you're asking, you do a counter offer, right? You negotiate via counter offer.
All right. So we've now did this offer. We like this one, and we want to move forward. What's the next step in that?
The next step in that process, from the seller perspective, will be the seller to say there's an outstanding mortgage on the property. You're going to call the lender to get the mortgage payoff. Say you know that you probably did a roof and there's an open permit on the roof.
Right.
You're gonna check to
Okay.
make sure those the permit is closed. If there's a lien or something, you're gonna call to get a payoff for those things
Right.
because you want to make sure that this helps with the transition come closing date, right? You want to make sure that all these things are taken care of. So it'll help the title company
With that
with
moving
with
smooth.
with this right,
Right.
right.
So you wanna make sure that things that you are aware
You're
of,
off.
right? An existing mortgage, an existing lien, open permits. Once you're aware of them, and if they're brought to your attention by by the title company or an attorney, whichever you choose to use, you want to start working on those stuff because the property is not going to close until those matters are resolved, right?
Right.
So you want to make
Agreed.
sure that you start putting whatever you need to do. If you need to get the open permits, get it re-inspected, whatever needs to be done, stuff from the inspection, if stuff came up in the inspection report that you needed to do, start. You just have to start doing what needs to be done,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because that's going to
You want to make sure you have a smooth closing.
that's going to facilitate
Safe.
that smooth closing.
Yes.
All right. So now that we've come to we've accepted the offer, we're on the contract. Is there anything in particular that I should start doing in terms of getting ready to move?
I would say, well, and there are terms in the contract, right? So, there's going to be an appraisal done. So typically, what I tell my seller, like once the appraisal is done and it comes back, and everyone agrees upon the price, now is the time to prepare yourself, start like hiring a mover to
Right.
start getting ready
Okay.
to go. Because you don't
Right.
want to wait until the last minute to start moving because moving takes a long time.
Right,
A
no.
lot of people consider that, oh, it's, I'm going to move the day before.
Of course, of
Absolutely
course.
not.
I only have
right?
two pieces of furniture. It's going
Right.
to take me 2 hours, and then it
Right,
takes
absolutely
3-4
not.
days.
Moving
right?
is a long, it's a process, right?
Right,
So
right.
hiring a mover too is very helpful, right?
Mm-hmm.
It'll help eliminate a lot of time. It helps.
Right,
So
right.
try not to wait until the day before closing or the day before the walkthrough for you guys to start moving your things out of the house.
Right, because that the buyer has an expectation, unless there's a post occupancy. Once this
That the
is
day of
signed
closing,
and they
their
get their key,
key-
and the seller gets their funds, they want their keys.
They absolutely do.
Right.
They're ready to move in. This is their
They're-
home. They've
right.
been waiting. They want to move
I've-
in. So
I've seen situations where the buyer has already put everything in the truck and drove to the closing with a truck full of furniture because they're ready to
they're
go.
ready to move.
So I'm appealing to sellers, get yourself ready. It's gonna be done. Once as Ann said, the appraisal is done and we're all in agreement, and your listing agent, the agent you're working with, is gonna keep you abreast of what's going on with the transaction.
Right.
And so you have to start putting yourself in the
frame of mind, like-
to move, right?
Right.
And start putting yourself, doing whatever you need to do. Get your truck, start getting boxes, and just start getting yourself ready.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So we now once on the closing date, the seller signed, the buyer signed keys.
Keys. Now, this is a day for you to transfer ownership from you to the new buyer. Right.
And so once that is done,
Right. We talk about paying off the mortgage.
right.
Again, so importantly, so 24 hours before the day of closing, we do what is called a final walkthrough,
And
right?
that's on the buyer's side. The buyer along with
The buyer along with us, yeah.
right, but it's a
The
seller.
seller, I mean, if you're there, it's okay. I don't think it's a big, but it's a requirement, right?
But that's on
Doesn't
the
matter
buyer,
where.
But that's for the buyer to do that walkthrough.
The buyer is going to request a final
Right.
walkthrough. And
Okay.
this is important because on the final walkthrough day, the buyer wants to make sure that the terms or the condition what the property was presented to them, that's the condition that they're coming to
Right.
see the property in,
Okay,
right?
perfect.
So you want to make sure too that if there was repairs that was requested by the buyers to be done, these are done on the before the final walkthrough.
Right.
Right.
And just a note on that, which is a great point, is that the buyer's expecting the property to be in the same situation as they saw it when they did the original inspection.
Right.
So don't move stuff that wasn't agreed on. If there's any damage while you're moving out, try and repair those damages. If there's any repairs and stuff, as Anne is saying, that needs to be done, you want to make sure that all is done. Because once that final walkthrough is done and everything is agreed and everyone is signed, the whole moving process brings a lot of anxiety to all involved.
It does.
So the less obstacles you have in that process is
The day before
smoother-
closing, the
Right,
smoother everything will
that
go.
process will go. Right.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so we're gonna be taking a short break. When we come back, we're gonna talk through the role of the listing agent. Join us back in a few, and see you then.
Life is full of challenging decisions. Finding the right mortgage company should not be one of them. We at Loans Hub Mortgage and Finance are leaders in residential mortgages, refinancing, and investment property financing. We have a loan solution for your every need. Call us today at 954-947-8662, or you can find us online at www.loanshublending.com. Your next approval is just a phone call away. Loans Hub is an equal housing lender, NMLS 2220747.
All right, so welcome back to episode 3 of Real Estate with the Carters. I'm Christopher Carter.
And I'm Annalyn Carter.
Together we're the
Carters.
All right, so when we left off, we just finished walking through the entire process from the seller side in terms of getting your property ready to sell. So now we're going to just walk through the role of the listing agent in this whole process. All right, Annalyn, you want to walk us through some of those roles?
All right, so you want to, with the seller, the agent wants to set a price, right? We're going to discuss setting the price of the property.
All right, so just stick a pin. Is it the agent that sets the price, or is it the seller?
Well, the seller has a price that they want to sell the property. They have a price in
I
mind,
know,
right? But
I
as
I want $1 million for this property.
so as an agent or the professional, you're going to work with the seller trying to negotiate and set a price, right?
Okay.
So you're going to look at comparable properties in your neighborhood that's been sold.
Right.
Things that they look at is the upgrades of your property. They look at the lot size. So they're going to take those things in consideration when they set a price.
All right. So if my agent comes and say they think my price should be, say, 400,000, I think it's 500,000. Oh, where do we go?
I mean, we can set it for the price that they're asking, the 500, and put it on the market. Sometimes that does not work in your favor because they can have the property sitting there for a long time,
Okay.
right?
So talk us then a little bit through setting at the height of the market in the middle or at the lower.
Right. So a strategy that most experienced realtor use is to have I guess Chris said, like, you can set the price really high, you can set it really low, or you can go to a median price, right? What we do strategically is to set the price in the middle. I believe when you set the price in the middle, it's not too high, it's not too low, but it's somewhere where you will get multiple offers, right, at that point. So you may get somebody to offer you above what you're asking because it's not low and it's not too high where people feel like they can't put an offer on this property because it's way above what they believe the asking price is.
Okay. So you're saying don't go too high, but don't go too low.
Right. So
somewhere
in the middle
is where you think and by even going in the middle, you may end up getting even far more than you, because then you have multiple people bidding on this house, and then the price could go up.
It can drive the price of the property up.
And that's what you want. You want more people trying to negotiate, have a price war, right?
Right, which a lot of that happened during the pandemic.
Right. And so price. So you may think that this property is worth 300,000, but between the different parties trying to buy this house, we may be able to get 350, 380.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Right.
So now that
the price is set, you agree with your listing agent what you're going to set the price for. Right now, another thing you want to do is to negotiate the commission, right? The typical commission is about, say, 6%, right? And that commission is split between your agent, which is the listing agent, and the selling agent for the buyer.
Okay.
Right.
6%, right?
6% is
I'm not
is a
paying,
going
I
rate.
don't want to pay 6%.
Well, if you don't want to pay the 6%, you can, like I said, negotiate that with the agent.
Okay.
Right.
All
You can
right.
negotiate the
All right.
commission.
I mean, let's see. I'm open if this agent. I want to see what marketing strategy they have for my property.
That's a good point, right? Based on whatever the marketing strategy that agent has,
Right.
then you'll say, okay, paying you 6% is good, because during that, the agent should be advertising your property. They should be presenting open homes. They should be having probably a broker's opening. Hiring a photographer.
Okay.
Letting you know what repairs. Maybe they have a handyman on staff or on hand that to come in and make these necessary repairs. So these things are what the agent's gonna sell themselves with, say whatever marketing strategy they have, and
Right.
put in your home on the market.
Okay.
Right.
So we've gone through for setting the price. So one of the main thing for the agent is setting the price, negotiating the commission,
Right. And coming up with their marketing strategy of
Okay.
how they're going to advertise and
Okay.
get your house out there on the market, so you have multiple people looking at it.
All right. Is there any other role the agent play in that process? And-
Yes. So the agent, so we do all of this. Now the agent is going to help you negotiate, and once you get an offer, negotiate and accepting
Okay.
the offer on your behalf. Right.
Does the agent only present the offers to the agent that they like, or does that process?
No,
work?
the agents should present all the offers that they receive on the property. So every offer that comes in, they
Right.
should present it to you as present it to the seller,
Okay.
right?
But I may tell my agent if it's below 450, I don't want to see it. Is
Well,
that
if that's what if the seller
Okay.
does disclose that to the agent that they don't want to see anything below 450, then the agent does not have to disclose that to the seller. Right, because you already you agreed that I don't
Okay,
want
so
it.
they
That's
don't
what
have
you're
to
saying,
present,
right?
right, so they
He
have
doesn't
to
have to present as
send
if
that
you're.
offer.
That's
Okay.
what you're saying, right? You
Right,
already
right,
tell him,
right,
right?
right.
So he doesn't need to present it.
Okay, so I can just tell my agent if it's not 450 and above, I don't waste
There's
my
no time, right? You can.
Okay, you can. Okay,
Right.
perfect. Is there anything else on the listing agent side that needs to be done in that
All right,
process?
so you have the offer. You guys, the agent assists you with negotiating the offer. So now, right, the agent is he's going to be the facilitator between the buyer's agent and you. So the buyer ordered the inspection. The agent is going to help to coordinate the time for the
Okay,
inspection.
okay.
They're going to help coordinate the time for the appraiser to be done. So the agent now, and the agent is going to contact, say, the lender to find out, what's going on, what condition if there's condition that needs to be met, if those things are being taken care of on the buyer's side.
So basically, the agent facilitates that smooth running of that contract.
Right.
Contract.
Right. They're going to stay in communication with the lender,
Right,
with
okay.
the buyer's agent, and the title company on your behalf.
Okay.
Right.
So as a seller, then in terms of all of those contacts and stuff, most of that is done by the agent. So
Right.
there's-
Right. Most of that is
Okay.
done by the agent. They're going to keep you up to breast what's happening. That's their role. Their
That's
job
their
is to
role.
keep you up to breast in terms of what's happening, right? While you prepare yourself and hiring a moving truck. Those are things that you worry about. Let the agent, again, keep you up to breast of the transaction.
All right, so I definitely see the reason then why I may want to pay 6% instead of 3, because then it seems like the agent have a lot of roles in that process.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I think this brings us to the end of today's show.
Yes, it does.
Thank you all for joining us. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so. Please like and share. If you have any question, comment, please put them in the description below. We're very happy to have you. We're very happy to bring this week's show, and we're looking forward to do as many show. The next show, which is next week, run about the same time.
Yeah.
All right.
Again, like Chris said, if you want to reach out to us, my contact information is my phone number is 786-214-1436. You can email me at analynbrealestate@gmail.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram, so contact us if you're looking for an agent to work with. We're
Right.
here. We enjoy doing this. Like Chris said, we enjoy
Right.
doing what we do for a living.
Okay,
So
definitely.
please
Definitely.
feel free to call us if you have any questions or comments.
All right. Thanks a lot for joining us and see you next week.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.